be drawing a 2D design that will be used as a basis to make a 3D model. And what we're doing is we're looking for something that would make a good pendant. Now, there are two ways that you can do this. You can just draw something on your own, a design that you like, or some geometric shapes or something like that. Or you can trace over existing artwork, and that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to go over here into Safari, and I've already Googled fairy line art because I thought fairy would be a good idea. And I find it's a good idea to put in the words line art because then you get simple drawings rather than photos and all sorts of things. So we're looking for something that would look good as a pendant, and I quite like this one here. Looks quite simple for our purposes. So to save it onto the camera roll, we just hold our finger down and press Save Image, and then we can go into Adobe Draw. Okay, so we're going to start a new project, and I'm going to do something that is portrait orientated, like this, and add an image layer, which is on my iPad, in the camera roll, and it's here. There you go, make it nice and big. That's fine. And I'm now going to drag that down so the draw layer is on top of it, and I'm going to tap the image layer button one time and just bring the opacity down so I can see what I'm drawing. And now go onto the draw layer, ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to just use a normal pen for this, and I'm just going to test how thick that is. Okay, that's too thick for my purposes, so I'm going to try and bring it down a little bit and try it now. Nope, still too thick. Let's try it, bring it down a bit more. What about that? Okay, that looks good to me. All right, so from this point, I'm just going to make it full screen so we can see what we're doing. All I need to do is trace the outside of the shape. All the inside doesn't matter because that's all going to be filled in with black. So I'm going to go over to here, and I'm going to do this very quickly. I would normally take a lot longer in doing this, but for demonstration purposes, I don't want to make this a 15-minute video. And I realize this isn't very good, but that's okay. And of course, there is nothing stopping you from taking creative license and not, obeying the entire artwork. It is, completely up to you. There we go. A little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. Okay. So it's useful to have a discussion with the students before you start about what might make a good pendant, something that would actually look good worn around someone's neck. Sometimes it's good to have a look at designs or before you start that already have something reasonably weighty at the top. Like this one I chose because this area here where a head is, it would not be hard to drill a hole into that so you can put the string in and stuff. So that would work quite well. Okay, just a little bit more to go. Do the hand, and again I'm doing this very quickly so it looks rubbish, but I guess you get the point. Okay. Yes, and I normally would be a lot more careful. Alright, so that's sort of what we're going for. Now, in theory, all you should have to do is hold your finger down on the shape and it should fill it with black. Just like that. Now, if yours doesn't, it means that you have a closed path somewhere. In other words, some of these joins here are not properly closed. It will only do that quick fill function if you have all spots that are joined up and it is a closed shape. Okay, so let's just do it again. Hold your finger down, and that is pretty much it. Obviously, you would take away the image layer, so we might just delete that. And then we're left with this area here. In fact, we'll delete the background as well, so that what we will export, or what we will save, is a transparent image here. So there we go, and you would hope that what you have done would be recognizable in what you're doing. So in other words, this looks to me like a fairy, and I think that most people would look at this and have a pretty good idea that that's a fairy. And so to me, that's a successful design. If it's really unclear what it is, I would say that's probably it's nothing to do with the skill of the person drawing it. It's just maybe not suited as a silhouette like this is. Okay, so I'm just going to save this picture into my Google Drive, and then the next video we're going to show how to take this kind of picture and then use Photoshop to extrude it, which means turn it from something that's just height and width to height, width and depth, and add a bit of depth to it, save it as a 3D file ready to be printed. That's coming up in the next movie. Thanks for listening.